Can you really say you understand a woman's body? You know lah, after more than 25 years working with couples here in Singapore, I've seen one very disturbing pattern. Most men think they know what they're doing, but honestly, they really don't. Many men believe that if they just touch the right places, that's enough already. But let me tell you something that might surprise you. A major study by the American Sexual Medicine Association found that 82% of women reported feeling unsatisfied during intimate moments. And you know what the main reason was? Not lack of skill. It was because their hearts weren't ready and the touching was too rough, too rushed. So today, I'm Dr. Michelle Ong, and I'm going to share with you the real secrets that most men have no idea about. After working with so many Singaporean couples in my clinic near Mount Elizabeth, I can tell you this. What women want is not complicated technique. It's the balance between emotion and security. That's the key, you know? Today I'm going to share with you everything I've learned from 25 years of experience backed by medical knowledge, psychology, and real success stories from right here in Singapore. This isn't just another how-to video. This is about transforming yourself into the kind of man who can truly satisfy a woman. So let's start from the beginning. First thing you need to understand, most men focus too much on the obvious areas. Yes lah, those areas are sensitive, but a woman's body is like playing an instrument. The whole body needs to work together to create real pleasure. Research from McGill University in 2009 showed that women actually have more than 10 sensitive zones all over their body. We're talking about behind the ears, the neck, the back, the collarbone, the sides, inner thighs, even the feet, especially the inner thighs and back of the knees. Even though they're not directly sexual areas, there are so many nerve endings there. These are like the gateway points that create indirect arousal. But here's the thing that many men don't realize. Every woman is different, you know. What works for one may not work for another. Some women, just gently touching behind their ears can make their whole body tremble. Other women, when you stroke their back slowly, that's when they really open up. You need to observe, need to communicate, need to feel your way through. Watch how her skin responds when you touch her, how her breathing changes, the look in her eyes, how her legs move. When you become good at reading these signs, she'll unconsciously want you more. She'll feel like, wow, this man really understands me. Now let me tell you about your best tool, your mouth and tongue. Your lips and tongue can give much deeper pleasure than your fingers or hands. Why? Because of temperature and the wet texture. Your tongue temperature is about 36.5 degrees, very close to skin temperature, so it feels natural, not foreign. Plus, your tongue can move in very delicate ways. Rhythm, pressure, angle, all can control. And your saliva is important too. A 2020 study from the American Institute of Sexual Science showed that saliva doesn't just lubricate, it also sends security signals to her pleasure nerves. So when you use your tongue, you're giving both physical stimulation and emotional comfort at the same time. But don't rush straight to the intimate areas lah. Start with the thighs, the belly button area, the hip line. Trace these boundaries slowly with kisses first. This process increases dopamine in her brain, building anticipation and excitement. When you use your tongue, don't just move monotonously. Move slowly in circles, like waves, you know. Try different things, suck lightly, press, trace, mix it up so her brain stays excited, always wondering what's coming next. Let me share a story with you. There's this gentleman, Mr. Tan, 70 years old, living in Toa Payoh. He remarried and was feeling very insecure about intimacy with his new partner. But after he changed how he used his mouth and tongue, you know what his wife told him? Being with you makes me feel like I'm in my 20s again. What did he change? Just one thing. Instead of just touching mechanically, he made sure she could feel the warmth, feel the breath, feel the intention behind every kiss and every movement. Now, before you even touch her body, there's something even more important, looking into her eyes. Many men, when they want to improve their skills, they only think about hand movements, tongue technique. But actually, the first switch to open a woman's heart and body is eye contact. There's this famous researcher from Stanford University, Dr. Arthur Aaron, who proved that just 4 minutes of looking into each other's eyes can make oxytocin, the love hormone, shoot up in the brain. When oxytocin is released, a woman's body becomes much more receptive to touch, less resistant. So looking isn't just preparation for touching, it's the key to making the touching successful, but cannot just stare like that only, When you look at her, you need to put feeling into it. Your eyes must show that you find her beautiful, that you want to cherish her. This is not technique. This is about your heart. And timing matters too. Before kissing, when taking off clothes, when reaching out to touch. At these moments, just 2 seconds of eye contact and her brain understands I am desired. This makes her relax, her breathing deepens, blood flow improves throughout her body. One lady told me before, she said, his hand never even touched me yet, but his eyes already wrapped around me so gently that my body started responding on its own. You see, such a simple action, looking, can dramatically increase your success rate. And then there's your voice. Your voice has more power than you think. During intimacy, your tone, your breathing rhythm, the sounds you make, all these directly affect her brain and multiply her sensitivity. Why? Because women's hearing plays a huge role in sexual arousal, especially low, slow voices. This stimulates the part of the brain that processes emotion and fear, while also activating memory centers, connecting feelings of safety with physical pleasure. A 2017 study from Essex University in UK proved this. When they measured women's brainwaves, the pleasure centers in their brains lit up when they heard men whispering. So what kind of voice works best? First, include natural breath in your speech. When you ask, does it feel good? Don't just say it like normal conversation. Say it with breath mixed in a lower voice, softly. Just this one small change, and your words become vibrations that reach directly into her body. Also, let out some of your own feeling sounds. While kissing, say things like, I can't resist, or you're so beautiful, as if you're talking to yourself, When you do this, her brain starts to resonate with yours, and rhythm is important too. When your breathing rhythm matches hers, your brain waves start to synchronize. This is called neural entrainment. It's a known condition for deep sexual connection. So, voice and breath are your biggest tools after eye contact. They're not for conversation, they're for resonance and guidance. But here's a huge mistake many men make. They think if she's wet, she's ready already. Let me tell you something very important. This is a dangerous misunderstanding. Yes, wetness is one sign of arousal, but it just means the body is starting to respond a little bit. It doesn't mean her heart is ready, A 2022 study from Northwestern University in the US showed that wetness and actual arousal don't always match. Wetness can be affected by external stimulation or hormones. It doesn't necessarily mean pleasure. So what should you look for instead? Look at these real signs that show she's truly aroused. Her breathing gets deeper, or she holds her breath. Her legs unconsciously relax and open. Her skin temperature rises, and there's a faint redness on her chest and neck. Her eyelids get heavy, or her eyes lose focus. These are the real signals. On the other hand, if you see her body stiffening, breathing shallow and fast, won't make eye contact expressionless. Even if she's wet, she's not ready lah. This is why the sequence is so important. You cannot rush one. Let me share the ideal pathway. Start with the back, shoulders, nape of the neck to give relaxation. Then move to wrists, hips, outer thighs to release tension and get her used to contact. Next, the belly and inner thighs to slowly build up sensitivity. Then collarbone and neck to bring anticipation to its peak. Finally, around the intimate area, almost touching but not quite, gradually making contact. This creates maximum tension and pleasure. The key here is distance and the courage to pause. Stop your hand intentionally, move to a different area. This makes dopamine increase slowly in her brain, building anticipation for what's next. But if you rush straight to the sensitive areas, she'll feel her heart can't keep up and her body will close off. Now let me tell you about 3 big mistakes men make. First mistake, monotonous rhythm, repeating the same movements. When you keep touching the same spot with the same pressure and same rhythm, her brain gets used to it and sensation becomes dull. This is called sensory adaptation. To keep her pleasure going, you need to vary your rhythm and pressure, give unpredictable stimulation. Second mistake, too strong stimulation. Rubbing or pinching too hard during foreplay is counterproductive. The clitoris has more than 10,000 nerve endings. If the stimulation is too strong, it becomes pain or discomfort, not pleasure. And going straight for intimate areas without building up, that's shocking and unpleasant for her. Remember, pleasure is built on security and trust, not just physical stimulation. Third mistake, by touching silently with no expression. When you touch her without saying anything, without showing any emotion, just mechanically moving your hand, she'll feel like she's being treated as a task, not with feeling. Women respond more to your emotions than to the physical touch itself. Talk to her, look into her eyes, nod, acknowledge. A touch with connection. This multiplies the pleasure many times over. How to fix these: change up your rhythm, touch lightly, tease a bit. Adjust your movements based on her breathing and sounds. Look into her eyes and say things while touching her. Create an atmosphere of feeling together. These small differences in awareness make a huge difference in her experience. Let me share about the figure 8 technique with the tongue. This isn't just about licking, Research from University of California in 2021 showed that tongue stimulation activates pleasure centers in the brain about 1.8 times more than fingers. Why is the tongue so effective? 2 reasons. The tongue can make extremely flexible and fine adjustments, and the warm, wet sensation triggers instinctive feelings of security in women. The figure 8 technique means slowly drawing infinity symbols around the clitoral area with your tongue. This shape has several elements that enhance pleasure. Stimulation spreads evenly because you're crossing through the center. The looping curves create continuous sensation without stopping, and it's easy to vary the rhythm so it doesn't get boring. The key is don't press too hard and tease by gradually getting closer to the center. This draws out the I want more feeling in her body and brain. You can also add in light sucking, pause for a moment, wrap with your lips. Mixing these up lets you control the waves of pleasure. I had a patient, Mr. Lim, in his 70s from Bishan. His marriage of many years had lost intimacy completely. But after learning this figure 8 technique and using it with the right mindset, his wife cried and told him, "This is the first time I felt so connected to you." What changed wasn't the method, it was his awareness. Instead of trying to make her feel good, he approached it with an attitude of, "Thank you for letting me make you feel this way." That shift in mindset changes everything. Now here's something most men overlook, but women find extremely important. Saying something before you touch. Just one sentence before touching can completely change how a woman experiences everything. Why? Because for women, feeling loved and cherished hits the heart through words first before physical stimulation. Psychologist and relationship researcher Dr. Sharon Schechter said that when men provide emotional language and confirmation before physical intimacy, women relax much more and their sexual sensitivity increases. What should you say? Doesn't need to be long sentences or fancy words lah. Just simple things like, "Tonight I want to make you feel good," or "Don't force yourself, just tell me what you like," or "I'll take care of you, just relax and trust me." Say these while looking into her eyes in a calm voice with a little breath mixed in. When you do this, her brain releases oxytocin and serotonin, the security hormone, and her body becomes more receptive to pleasure. Let me tell you about Mr. Go in his 70s from Ang Mo Kio. He always said he wasn't confident about technique. But one day he started saying, "Tonight I want to touch you gently and carefully before anything happened." Just that one change and his partner's response completely transformed. Just speaking before touching, that's all it takes for a woman's heart to stand on a foundation of security, ready to multiply pleasure many times over. And this security is supported even more by the man's confidence and steady presence. Confidence doesn't come from perfect technique. It comes from preparation and being ready to observe her reactions and adjust flexibly. Let me give you 3 points. First, have knowledge. Knowing where and how to touch gives you peace of mind. Learn about women's body structure, where nerves concentrate, what kind of stimulation is preferred. Just studying beforehand builds confidence naturally. Second, don't be afraid to lead. Intimacy isn't about finding the right answer. It's time to nurture pleasure together. When you take the lead confidently, it gives her security and trust. Say things actively like, "I want to try this," or "Does this feel good?" This makes it easier for her to share her responses honestly too. Third, don't rush for results, just enjoy the moment. A confident man has the capacity to carefully receive what's happening in front of him. Look into her eyes, match her breathing, wait for her response. This attitude communicates to her that this man is really paying attention to me, and security and pleasure become one. Mr. Wong, in his 60s from Tampines, tried to compete with technique like when he was younger and kept failing. But when he changed to not rushing, not panicking, looking into her eyes slowly, taking a deep breath before touching, just these small changes and his partner's response changed dramatically. This isn't about technique, it's about your way of being. Now, the most important part that many men completely miss, what happens after? After intimacy ends, how do you behave? Do you just fall asleep, look at your phone silently, rush to the bathroom? These actions can feel like betrayal to a woman. Why? Because a woman's pleasure doesn't end at climax. It deepens in the afterglow and becomes a lasting memory. The hormones released during intimacy, oxytocin, dopamine, are at their highest right after. If you do nothing during this time, these hormones can turn into feelings of loneliness and emptiness. So to give maximum pleasure, the few minutes after are absolutely critical. What women want is physical security and emotional connection. Right after, when her body is completely relaxed, that's when her heart is most open. Just holding her gently, stroking her hair, quietly holding hands. These simple actions make her feel deep in her bones that this man truly cherishes me. And this feeling makes her want to see you again, want to be held again. What should you do in the afterglow? Hold her quietly, even without words. Skin-to-skin warmth gives security. Express gratitude. Say thank you. That felt so good. I'm happy to be with you. Talk together. Share how you felt. What you'd like to try next time. Moments you love. Gently trace her hair or shoulder. These delicate touches feel like caressing the heart. These are all actions that say, it's not over, we're still in this moment together. One of my patients, Mr. Tan from Jurong, always makes sure to take deep breaths together after intimacy before talking. Just this habit alone made his partner feel so secure she could sleep peacefully. And he said their relationship became much calmer and deeper than before. You see, sex isn't just the act itself, it's the entire time before and after, nurturing love together. That's why how you spend the afterglow determines everything. So let me wrap up everything I've shared with you today. You don't need to master difficult techniques. What matters most for satisfying a woman is gentleness, observation skills, and a sincere attitude. No matter how old you are, with the right approach, you can become irreplaceable to a woman, give security, build trust, connect not just physically but emotionally too. This is the real power of intimacy that only mature men can offer. If this video helped you even a little bit and you feel like maybe I can do this, that feeling itself is proof you've already taken the first step. I hope that every moment you share with your partner from now on becomes a deep memory that makes her think, I want to be held by this man again. If you found value in what I shared today, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I'll continue sharing more insights from a medical perspective to help you become a more loving partner. Thank you so much for watching and take care.